Martinsville Speedway in Virginia is the next stop for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and boy, the stakes could not be higher this weekend as the Xfinity Series gets ready to set the championship four before they head to Phoenix to see who will be this year's top dog. Good afternoon, everyone. So glad you could join us for practice and qualifying from Martinsville Speedway alongside Dale Jarrett and Steve Letarte. I'm Dave Burns. They both have grandfather clocks they earned here. I am jealous. There will be another grandfather clock or two earned this weekend, and one of them will be from the Xfinity Series drivers. The rules for the combined session today, practice and qualifying, two groups, 15 minutes each, and then single car qualifying. They will get 2 laps apiece on this half-mile oval. And of course, the fastest time will be the pole sitter for tomorrow's event. A lot at stake here, Dale Jarrett. And having won here before and knowing what these drivers are about to go through, what are you watching for here?
Gosh, I'm amazed at how crowded the track looks, and this is only half the field. That, I think it took me back to whenever everybody used to just be able to jump out there at the same time and go. But there is a lot at stake, and trying to get in as many laps as you possibly can. Yeah, everybody wants to go fast, and you want to be able to have that speed. But the biggest thing is how many laps can you run? Make sure that you got your brake adjustment set right for the race, and see exactly how much fall off you're going to have with these tires. The good thing is that this tire for these Xfinity drivers and teams hasn't changed from what they ran here in the spring.
It's been quite the year in the Xfinity Series. I think it's the deepest field we've had in many, many years. While we have lost some of our bigger stars over the years, as they should and have wanted to do to move up to the Cup Series, I think, it's a lot more difficult to run inside the top 10 or top 12 than in years past because we have so many good race cars. And I think that's what's going to really make this weekend a bigger challenge, right? When you go to the big track, there's enough space to kind of find your own line, find your own space to race. But here at Martinsville, you talk about how crowded it was, DJ. And now with that many good cars to try to pass, a mistake's going to get multiplied. If you lose track position, it's going to be a lot harder. And more importantly, if you don't start with track position, that's going to be the key today is, qualifying and try to get a decent starting spot.
Looking at Rajah Caruth in the 44 car. Had a big week himself. Was out in Hollywood, going to a Hollywood premiere before he came out here for Wakanda Forever. Glad to see him back to this side of the country, ready to race for Alpha Prime Racing. Rajah in this car, not one of the playoff drivers, of course, but 8 remain, and only 2 spots are up for grabs because 2 drivers have won their way in the championship 4 already. Noah Gragson with his win last weekend, and of course Josh Berry with his win at Las Vegas. They've been able to sleep well, DJ.
Yeah, I think Josh Berry does anyway. I don't know if Noah ever sleeps personally, but I had some people tell me this week, we were talking about this race, because I think that, as good as we expect the Cup race to be and what we've seen in years past of the Cup race and drivers trying to fill those 4 spots, I think tomorrow's Xfinity race is just going to be crazy. And people were saying, well, Noah, maybe the 2 best drivers, but in particular Noah having this great year he's had, he's got a free pass and, can rest easy and be free. And I said, that's Noah every week, in my opinion. I don't think that it gives him anything more. But Steve's made a good point this week. He made it, I think, on our NASCAR America show the other day, too, that, but with the pit selection for next week at the championship race, that maybe Noah and his team, Steve, might look a little bit more and put a little more attention to qualifying here today.
Yeah, so how the format's going to work is the championship 4 drivers will pick before anyone else, but their order in which those 4 pick will be set from qualifying here today. So to your point, Noah and Josh Berry, who are already locked forward, and why momentum is real and you want to run good here, the one thing that they know will help them next week is if you could sit on the pole here today, you are assured that #1 pit stall at Phoenix. And let's not forget, I'll argue that was one of the biggest contributing factors to Kyle Larson's championship a year ago in the Cup Series, having that #1 pit stall. So it all kind of adds up to having the best chance possible in a week when we head out west. And we've been racing all year long to set the field. It's exciting to be this close now with 2 locked in, as you mentioned. And then you have Ty Gibbs, who has to be feeling pretty good about the points. You have a couple at the bottom, that I think have to be thinking must win, or at least have a winning type of, effort. But then you have those guys in the middle, A.J. Allmendinger, the 7 car. It's going to be a heck of a battle. And don't count out Hill in that 21. He's going to be great as well.
They will be on track next. These are the first 20 cars to take to the Martinsville Speedway. when the championship drivers go out. Brandon Jones will be among them. Let's head down to Dylan Welch, who's with it.
And it's noisy down here, Dave, as cars continue to circle the Martinsville Speedway. But yeah, Brandon Jones has got the most work to do of anybody this weekend, 38 points back. So given your gap, what is the mindset for this weekend? How do you approach it?
Yeah, man. Well, first off, big thanks to Tuscany Faucets Menards. We've got a really pretty looking Supra for this weekend's race. I think the big thing is, man, is our strategy is going to be really simple. It's just win this weekend. You know, I think if you look at the guys that we're kind of fighting in points, they still can maybe make it in on points. So they're going to be playing the game of staying out for stages and doing different things. We can short pit, we can do stuff to set ourselves up better at the end of the day to try to win the race. We did early in the spring, so I don't see any reason why we can't back it up again this weekend.
With this track and all the chaos and uncertainty that sometimes comes here, is this the hardest? Is this a harder place to just go after the win, or is it one of those where it maybe simplifies it a little bit?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, the big thing here is we're going to make it to the end to be able to win the race, and a lot of guys are going to be antsy. It depends on how early they want to try to become antsy, and you just have to really kind of pay attention to the whole dynamic of the race. You don't want to get taken out early on trying to hold somebody up, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to be aggressive and you got to be the one making moves and be on offense too. So it's going to be a balance for sure tomorrow to win and stay clean, but I think that it simplifies it as far as just knowing what we have to do.
And they know what they have to do. They did in the spring, as you guys said. So Brandon Jones sure would like another Martinsville win this weekend here to punch his ticket to Phoenix.
Dylan, that would be so key to sweep the year at Martinsville for Brandon Jones. More practice and qualifying from the Xfinity Series from Martinsville. Each year, Comcast celebrates a Community Champion of the Year. There are 3 nominees this year, and we want to start with Jess Ferreira. If you've been to the racetrack and you've seen the live shows at the track and sometimes what drivers participate in, it's mostly Jess's work there and her team. Senior Director of Live Shows at CSM, and she has made foster parenting something in her life and wants to share that with others. Sherry Pollux is the lifelong partner of Martin Truex Jr., and a while back she launched the Sherry Strong Integrative Medicine Oncology Clinics to address the physical, emotional, and environmental needs of cancer patients. So we celebrate Sherry again. Good luck to her. And finally, Josh Williams. He's a driver, the number 92 in the Xfinity Series. He's visited over 150 hospitals this year on his hospital tour, and he brings joy to the children every time he shows up, and you can see it in their faces. And he's also going to bring them more joy this weekend because his car is themed for Halloween. Now, if you recognize the black and white there, and then you look down to the characters, yes, that is a Beetlejuice theme. And there's Josh on the hood, and Josh is not only behind the wheel, but he has played it up to the full. Josh's fire suit this weekend will be, it's not Beetlejuice, but it's definitely Beetlejosh.
Josh is such a character. I tell you, always smiling. I mean, the guy just has such a great outlook and deserved recognition for what he's doing away from the racetrack. Just a great person, and fortunate to have him racing on Saturdays.
Yeah, you know, you see things like this, makes you even more proud of the sport that we've all been a part of for a long time when you see people doing such good things for others.
The Comcast Community Champion, you'll hear about them a little later on this season. And those are the 3 nominees, and we'll look forward to seeing what happens there. Josh will look forward to seeing what happens on track. His car 12th quick in this session, Steve.
Well, now we're getting to that point. Everybody has probably at least 15, maybe even 20 laps on the tires. So even if it isn't in one long run, the balance is kind of settled in on what you're going to have. You see right there, drive off. So what is the challenge of Martinsville? It starts here on corner entry, getting slowed down, not locking up a left front, and surprisingly, rear security. You go in, you don't dare turn the wheel because you're too free. Then as soon as the weight kind of sets on the car tight, front doesn't want to turn through the middle and then loose off. And all of those can be created or exacerbated by hitting that inside curve, which can definitely ruin a lap.
You just described 90% of the cars I ever drove here, Steve. Yeah.
What I've learned is most of the feedback sounds the same. Some are just faster than others of handling conditions.
Yeah. You know, I go back to Brandon Jones before our commercial break, him talking about their strategy and what they're planning to do and how they plan on going about it. I really believe that it probably in both races, but especially in this Xfinity race, that we're going to see drivers on the oldest tires up trying to fend off others to get that win. And so it makes it even more difficult as a driver, but you want to be put in that position. Dylan?
DJ, we got Justin Allgaier, who's another one who has a little bit of work to do today. 5 points is all that he's out right now. So you're right there on the bubble. Does that make your job tougher or a little easier that's all you've got to make up this weekend?
I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off. We're obviously not in. Last year here we were out, or we were in, and we worked our way out. So, you know, the team has done a great job. We've always had fast race cars here at Martinsville. So I have no doubt that our junior motorsports career will be up there. But we got iRacing on the car. I spent a lot of laps in Martinsville on iRacing. Obviously, brand fresh, agriculture as well. The goal is to go get it, and if you win, it doesn't matter how many points you get. So that's the goal for tomorrow. It starts right now, though, and we got to go make a good day of it.
All right, Justin Allgaier getting ready to climb aboard the Branton iRacing Chevrolet here for his first laps on the track.
He mentions iRacing on the hood. It was a big week in the iRacing community. You see that there's the logo, the iRacing. Well, the NASCAR series crowned their champion Tuesday night live at the Hall of Fame. Great event. They brought a live crowd in for these drivers that are used to driving on their own simulation rigs at home. They brought those 4 of the championship 4, their rigs on stage at the Hall of Fame. Dale Jr. was there to present the trophy, the championship trophy for the NASCAR Coca-Cola series. Has Dale's name on it. It's named in his honor, and it was just a great event. A lot of fun to be a part of, a lot of fun to call, and a great race from the virtual Phoenix. So it kind of got you in the championship mode.
Yeah.
The pressure and the excitement. 100 grand. Right? I mean, Casey Kerwin, a young man, 22 years old, from just down the road in Matthews, North Carolina.
I'm pretty sure that's more than what I won when I won.
I mean, think about that. We talk a lot about that. You know, like when I was a kid, I got yelled at for playing video games. Now, these aren't quite video games, but the man won $100,000 being the best in the business. So, pretty impressive.
Walking through the garage area this afternoon, I saw a lot of Halloween-themed wraps on these cars today. Mason Massey's number 91 is not traditionally green for Anderson, his sponsor, but they had to do that because of the clowns. Now, I don't know how you feel about clowns. Some people are a little freaked out. I asked Mason, how are you on clowns? He said, I'm a little freaked out. He said, but they're on the outside of the car, so I'm okay.
I'm okay with clowns, but green. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I don't know if I could go with green.
Halloween weekend at Martinsville Speedway. Great Friday afternoon here at Martinsville Speedway. Tomorrow is going to be even better because you've got Cup Series practice and qualifying at noon on the NBC Sports app and 12:30 on USA. And then 2 o'clock on USA, Dale Jr. download with Marcus Smith. And then don't forget to tune in to Countdown to Green on NBC at 2:30. Big lineup there. Bubba Wallace is going to join Jr. and Jeff Burton for a little convo. Steve and others are going to discuss the importance of pit stall number 1 here at this track. And the Xfinity Series contenders are racing for 2 spots in the Championship 4. You will not want to miss it. And then, of course, the race happens 3:30. And that's on NBC and Peacock from right here in Martinsville, Virginia, where the hot dogs are world famous. Derek Jarrett,
yes.
Did you partake?
Not yet.
Yet. I heard it yet.
That
means there's some.
You can't come here and not.
That's right.
I agree.
Well, and how do you take it? Do you take a ketchup mustard all the way?
Most of the time, however they want to bring it out to me. So pretty much all the way, yes.
It's I'm a mustard guy. Just so we know. Steve?
Oh, I'm chili and mustard.
Oh, chili and mustard. All right.
Chili and mustard.
Noah Gragson leading the way in the 9 car. And he is on the top in the round of 8 playoff drivers, having won. Josh Berry's right there with him. 2 spots remain, and that's what they're focused on now. How do I get there after tomorrow's race?
On the field, this practice is going to look a little different. Unlike in the Cup Series where they're kind of split down the middle, this field was kind of back 20 in points, front 20 in points. So this is what I would consider the stacked practice right here. And you see all the names on the left: Allmendinger, Hemrick, Castle, Smith. So it's if you're just okay in this practice, that still puts you well towards the top third of the field overall. This 1 car, Dale, you've been pretty bullish about this one really all week long. I've been listening to you. You like Sam Mayer. You keep saying this could be the week. What gives you that confidence or that feeling that you wouldn't be shocked to see the 1 go to victory lane?
I think it's watching him come up through the ranks, whatever he was driving. It seemed like a lot of the highlights and races that I saw him drive in were on short tracks, and he seems to be really good. He's smooth but really aggressive at the same time. He was right in the mix here earlier this year to get the win at this racetrack, and I've just seen great improvement with him, and there's just something to, I mean, junior motorsports cars have been great, and would not surprise me to see him fall right in there and be able to get the win. And for Justin Allgaier, we might have an all-junior motorsports championship run next week in Phoenix.
It would be impressive. The one, I like this mature move. He kind of backed off the 9's bumper to get some clean laps. He got to run on the 9 because you see that red and white curbing at the bottom. Well, the 9 just turned a little bit better than he thought. Maybe a couple times he got down on that curb. Hit it third time's the charm, I guess. I don't know if he's trying to get a little split of clearance out of the way right away.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Whatever he did, he was successful at it. He hit it 3 times.
It was intentional the last 2 for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say the first one, I would say it turned a little better than he wanted, and then the next couple times looked like he was trying to make a little space for later.
I always love trying to think what Noah Gragson is up to, and I always come up with a blank.
I don't even want to go there.
Some things you just want to let be.
Here's that other teammate, Justin Allgaier, in the 7. Talked to him a little bit earlier with Dylan Welch. I asked him if it was going to be a candy corn number 7. They said no.
Yeah.
Just straight up corn.
And I know what I said about that is a big stretch that Ty Gibbs would obviously have to have some major issues in the race tomorrow, because he looks like he has a spot that's there for his taking. But as we said, anything can happen in these races. And obviously Justin Allgaier could, go win the first 2 stages and finish second in the race to Sam Mayer. And that, Ty Gibbs would have to have a great race to make sure that he didn't lose that spot.
Listen, this is the year of stretches. People, it would take a stretch. I'm like, well, I mean, the storylines are amazing in both series, so nothing would surprise me at this point. Dylan, how's it look on pit road?
Well, you talk about the 7 car, and I chatted with Jason Burdett, who's his crew chief, and it's just kind of interesting what the thought process is this weekend for these guys. At 5 points out, they're kind of right in that threshold of we don't need to go for the win, but if we play it cautious and get caught up in something, or we don't get stage points, or something happens that causes us to lose points, we're really going to be in the danger zone. So Jason didn't really know how they wanted to approach it just yet. He said, we're going to kind of see how we qualify here and see how we race in stage 1 tomorrow before we really develop a definitive game plan. But they're kind of right in that area where you don't want to go up and race for the win and give up stage points, because you might need those later in the race. So right now, Justin's report just struggling to turn in the center, a little bit loose off as well in the 7 car. So try and get this thing qualified better, and then, as Justin said, winning cures everything. So I think they want to go for the win, but still a little bit to be decided on this 7 car.
Dylan, when I talked to Justin earlier today, I said, how are you doing? And he goes, I will be better tomorrow afternoon when I have advanced to Phoenix.
There you go.
So
yes.
I think a lot of them feel that way. It's the guy with the most points, as you see on the left there, above the cut line, that has not won. Ty Gibbs plus 30, not a guarantee.
No, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him win this race tomorrow either. He ran really, really well. He's fastest on the chart right now in this group, so that wouldn't surprise me. I'm just going to be really interested to watch how he runs these first 2 stages. You know what, in my mind, what I would be telling him is, the most important thing is not getting a clock tomorrow. He's got many years ahead of him to do that. I think the most important thing would be telling him the biggest thing that we can do is make sure that we're racing for a championship next weekend. Let's do that however we need to do that, instead of thinking about winning the race.
Drivers raced here in the spring here at Martinsville, and the end of the race was somewhat of a dust-up between the 1 and the 54, that blue and black 1. That's Sam Mayer squeezing between Landon Castle and into the wall, Ty Gibbs. That did not make Gibbs very happy, and after the race, well, Steve, they met.
Yeah, it's one thing to beat and bang on the racetrack, but then you don't want to see this pushing and shoving and this swinging happen up pit road. Actually, an official, I think, got injured in this scuffle on pit road. So, never a good look for the sport, even with the young drivers. And now we have a caution on the racetrack. The 11 has destroyed the back of his car.
It's Daniel Hemrick.
This has all the makings of a little wheel hop on corner entry right here. If there wasn't contact from another car, this is really what I would consider a hard hit for Martinsville. This is a place we definitely see wrecked race cars, but normally it's contact with other cars. That's a pretty good shot into the outside wall. That's going to take a backup car for sure. He's run 16 laps in practice so far. Now, an advantage, practice today, race tomorrow. If this was a Saturday morning practice, this team would really be up against it. But they're going to have a little time. Let's take a look what happened here.
Yep. You can see, got in too far, and back starts jumping when it starts wheel hopping there. And you've got no control as a driver at that. I mean, there are things you can do, you know, if you can react quick enough to literally get off the brake, kick the clutch in, but it happens so fast.
And Jeff Gordon told me the best thing. Yeah, he goes, listen, it's really easy to get one to stop wheel hopping, but you run out of real estate way quicker than the time. He's like, I know what to do, but there's a wall. You know, he's like, if I had an entire airport runway, I'd just push the clutch in, the thing would stop wheel hopping, that'd be fine. He goes, but you know, there's a corner, a wall, sand traps if you're at the, you know, a road course. So.
Well, and to the road course point, DJ, I hear drivers talk about wheel hopping a lot there. Same thing here? Same exact feel?
Yes, same exact thing. And you know, the biggest thing is most, as you were talking about, Jeff saying that, most of the time when this happens, you're approaching a tight corner that you don't have much time to react. And so, you know, especially somewhere like here, it's not, you know, turn 1 at Watkins Glen, yeah, you can slide off and probably not going to hit anything. But here, there's so little time that the next thing you know, you've backed into the wall. Now, you know, a hit like that with the Cup cars that are running now wouldn't be a major issue as far as doing a lot of damage, but these cars aren't like that.
So now the real interesting thing for me is when we talk Martinsville as a whole and the challenges of Martinsville. Currently, the Xfinity Series haulers are in the infield, but they're going to be moving out because Cup Series haulers are coming in for practice tomorrow. So normally, you go to the Xfinity Series garage, the 11 would start working on their car, but how are they going to do it here at Martinsville? The garage area is here, but their haulers are going to have to move out. Their shops are about 60 miles from here, so it'll be really interesting to see what Colleague Racing has planned or prepared for. Do you start working on the vehicle in the infield, even though you know you have to kind of stop down in a few hours and move on? Do you go back to your shop? This is going to be one you see Chris Rice right there on the telephone. I think he's trying to work up that plan. Of exactly.
You think that's bent the rear clip enough that this would create a necessity of a backup car for sure, or is that?
I think the rear clip's probably fine. The challenge is you see the damage to the sheet metal on that car. I just don't know, without having the ability to kind of locate the height of the deck lid itself, I'm not sure if you could get it repaired. Now, at the shop, it's not that bad. You can put it underneath your fixtures, put the deck lid where it needs to be, fix the sheet metal. Most of the panels bolt on and bolt off anyway. So it really comes down to if they can locate where the deck lid needs to be, I think you could put new sheet metal on this car pretty easy, and that's what I would prefer to do. Non-aero racetrack, I know it looks like it's heavily damaged, but I'm sure this is their best short track car, probably has the lightest weight car, probably the best seat center of gravity. So if you could somehow get the sheet metal back, put a new rear bumper on it, which on the next gen would be bolts. Here you'd have to cut it off and weld a new one in, but it's not a reasonable amount of work. Something you could do in the shop for sure overnight.
Such a contrast for Daniel Hemrick. Left here last year with a chance to win the championship at Phoenix, racing for Joe Gibbs Racing. He went and did that. This season has not gone the way he wanted it to, not in the playoffs heading there, and now out a primary race car.
Yeah, and half the reason I ask this question is because, you know, when I look at their 3 haulers right there, I don't see a lot of movement trying to get another car off. You see right there, it looks like the track bar, looks like the right side of the track bar has dislodged itself. That's an interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would happen in an accident, so I don't know.
You wonder if that happened?
Yeah, I was going to say, that track bar being missing right there could be the result, or it actually could be the cause. It's hard to believe that the entire Heim joint and everything
broke on that impact there?
Yeah. It's, you know, you're square into the wall. It's not like you hit a rear tire.
Yeah.
So we'd have to take another look at it to see. I'd be looking maybe for a spark or anything if there's metal on the ground.
You can see that left rear, but it looked and I looked at the left rear to begin with, and it looked like it was wheel hopping to me. But
what would make it wheel hop, though, is if you have the track bar come loose, the thing could go back and forth so much that it would almost start hopping. It's going to be interesting. I would say hopefully we catch up with Daniel Hemrick. He'll probably have to take a trip to the infield care center, I imagine. But if we do have a chance to catch up with him, I think that's a question we should ask him, right? If it was just a wheel hop or if he felt like there was a mechanical issue on that 11 car, that would make a little more sense. I mean, not that wheel hop's impossible, but Daniel is the defending champ. I mean, he has a lot of laps in a race car. You wouldn't think out there by yourself in race trim 16 laps in, then it would all of a sudden start wheel hopping. Sometimes making a pass or a qualifying run, pressing, you know, trying to press the pace, but just not a mistake you would expect Daniel Hemrick to make.
Meanwhile, the rest of the competitors wondering if this session is quickly fading away, if there'll be a little time added or what.
Some great camera work finding that piece dragging when he was coming back into the garage.
You can see Ty Gibbs quickest. Ty has run a total of 17 laps. That is the most of anyone in this session. Goes along with Sam Mayer, Noah Gregson. Brandon Jones has also run 17. So they've gotten some time out here, Steve, and now a chance to briefly talk about it and maybe make an adjustment or two.
Yeah, I mean, this is a track that you could come in, make some changes, and go back out on hot tires and see if it's helped your car or not, because we expect to see some yellows tomorrow. You're not going to put brand new tires on every time, so you're going to restart on warm, older tires.
Yeah, it's good chance right here to see exactly what you have on a restart as the tires have been able to cool down a little bit, because I still believe that maybe even the top 5-6 cars late in this race are going to be on the oldest tires out there, that they positioned themselves in that way for a reason. And what do you have? Do you need to make a brake adjustment at that time to help you get through to the end?
You can see A.J. Allmendinger's numbers improving on the short tracks in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and he's been good here in a Cup car and also in the Xfinity Series. So a chance for A.J. to come through tomorrow. He is on the bubble, the 4th of 4 who can make it in to start tomorrow's race, but he can get moved out.
And DJ, right there, it's jumping right at me, the color of the concrete where the right side tires are running. Not so much on corner entry, but when you get right down here in the middle of the corner, look how dark that upper groove where the right sides are. I love to see that. That's a challenge for some teams, but when you have a Goodyear tire that can put rubber onto this concrete surface, I believe it makes for better racing.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And it gives you options, and then it also can create issues as you get into a run. Does the rubber, and I don't know that it's going to get warm enough for it to do that tomorrow afternoon, but if it actually builds up too much, then you have to work your way around that a little bit, because it actually becomes slick at one point when you get too much of that rubber buildup. So you have to decide, am I going to try to stay below that if my car is turning good enough and I can get that straight drive off the corner, or am I going to have to straddle that through the center of the corner, letting it roll to get the straighter run off the corner that I want?
So as I will be in the elements tomorrow on pit road, DJ, I did a little fact-finding mission. A lot of guys believe it's going to be low 60s tomorrow. So layer time.
Yes.
Layer time.
Yes.
Right, we'll see. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dave, we've caught up with Daniel Hemrick, who has been released from the infield care center. It was wheel hop, Daniel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You got 16 laps in, though. Did the car feel okay, or was there any indication you were going to have a problem like that?
I mean, I felt like our AJ1 Camaro was wheel hopping from lap 1. In the seat, you can feel it fluttering the wheels. Trying to figure out how to move around and change lanes. And I completed lap 16 or 17 there, went in the 1, and was working on brake bias. And so once the brake and started hopping, you can get away with flutter when it started wheel hopping. I couldn't do anything to get it back under control. So super disappointing for everyone on AJ1 Camaro. I appreciate everyone at Colleague Racing. We're going to have our hands tied here to try to get things back together, but it sucks, man. You don't want to make a mistake like that, but it's also something we fought everywhere we've been. So frustrated as I am myself, I know I got to be better. We're all going to be better.
Thanks, Daniel.
It's a great interview by Daniel. We couldn't tell if that track bar was the cause or the effect.
Yeah.
It sounds like he had this wheel hop issue. So wheel hop in general is on deceleration into the corner. The rear tires literally start to kind of skip across the pavement. It can happen because of an engine decel, a braking setup. It can also be something in your chassis or car that doesn't load the tire correctly, right? With the same amount of brake force, one car might plant that left rear tire and it doesn't skip across the asphalt or concrete at all, where the other car with the same brake system skips the tire, and that's because it could be shocks, springs, how you control the rear tires, nose weight, crossweight. I mean, it's really an infinite amount of adjustments, and it sounds like Daniel said, hey, I had this issue, but I continue to work, maybe the brake bias and some things. That's what this shorter practice does, right? Yeah, because if you had an hour, you probably wouldn't keep coming. You'd come in, we would talk about it. But with only 15 minutes, I think he's just trying to figure out from the seat if he could change what he was doing to make it improve.
Yeah, I know he's really hard on himself right there for making a mistake. You don't want to do that as a driver, but there again, you're trying to get everything that you can with that, and he was trying to make adjustments from his driving to the brake bias, and but we've done it. I've been in exactly that situation and disappointed in myself that I crashed here because of wheel hop whenever I knew I had an issue.
And he kind of alluded, Dave, that this wasn't the first week. He made it sound like this has been an issue, whether that's road courses or short tracks. We don't know, but it must have been a tendency that he had felt over the course of the season.
Love watching the rookie Austin Hill, not down the backstretch so much, but coming into turn one. DJ, he's got those white gloves on, and we can really see how he works the wheel getting into the corner. What's that feel?
Yeah, well, that's the uncertainty of getting into the corner here is the biggest thing, because to make these cars turn, you have to be a little free on the entry side of it. And you can see that right there, that he's ready to catch that at any moment. The people that I've watched here over the years, though, you think about the very best, Denny Hamlin, who's really good, Jeff Gordon. They were so smooth at making this happen. They were able to know exactly where they wanted to let off, how much brake pressure they wanted to put on, that kept them out of these nervous type situations, because you can see he's catching this thing right in the center every time. That's going to be hard to do for the entire race.
I was going to say, that's a lot of catching. I was fortunate enough to work with Jeff Gordon here, and I think his talent was never in question, and his speed. But I think one of the things he didn't get enough credit for is a day like today, with the track conditions like it is, he was just certain how his car had to drive in these conditions. He could tell you, I'm loose here, don't worry about that. I'm tight here, that's the problem. Fix this problem. And then 3 hours into a race on Sunday, he was exactly right with what he needed in his car.
That's the end of practice for all the competitors. Qualifying coming up here in Virginia.
Denny Hamlin not happy.
I wanted to win. When it's time to go,
So many times Martinsville Speedway has delivered the drama as drivers try to get to the Championship 4 in Phoenix. You will not want to miss it, because this year should be no different. 1:30 on Sunday, countdown to green, and then the race from right here in Martinsville, Virginia. That's on NBC. And don't forget the post-race show, Steve. That'll be on Peacock, where we discuss everything we've seen. We might not believe our eyes.
Oh, I was going to say, you're not going to want to miss the post-race show. This place always is full of moments, and I don't know why this is going to be any different. So much on the line. You've been working all year long, right, to try to get to the Championship 4, and it's right here in front of you, your last chance to punch your ticket.
The Xfinity cars qualify next. Forty cars took to the Martinsville Speedway in 2 different sessions. The playoff drivers ended up like this among them. Quickest was Ty Gibbs. That's impressive.
Well, the ones that needed to be quickest were, right? Ty and Allmendinger very, very good. You see some consistency with Allgaier, Hill, and Mayer. Even Brandon Jones at the bottom. I think that 19 and that one, you're going to have to deal with both of those cars tomorrow. As you see the 77 getting very loose right here.
Yeah, especially when you talk about guys that are needing to literally go win the race.
Right.
And then you have that group that was all there, AJ being the fastest of that group, that are looking to score as many points as they possibly can in those first 2 stages.
It might look straightforward, Dave, but I actually believe this might be the hardest 1 mile of qualifying drivers are asked to do over the course of the year. 2 half-mile laps. And while it is one of the slowest you're going to do, it's just so easy to hit the curb or miss an entry, Dylan. And it's only going to be a few hundredths of a second between each position.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for sure, Steve. Ty Gibbs was fastest in practice, going for his 4th straight short track pole this year. So how did the car feel, and how much should we look into the speed you guys have this weekend?
Yeah, I feel like we've got a very fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra, and I feel like, the guys at the 54 group back at, the factory put together a great race car. I feel like we had a really good race car in the spring, too, so, hopefully we can come out of here a little less chaotic, but, main focus is just Phoenix, to be honest with you, and we're going to win if we can, but, it comes down to championship racing, you got to race that wise.
You do have a 30-point buffer right now going into Phoenix, so it's not guaranteed, but comfortable, I think. But are you ever really comfortable here?
I guess not. I mean, I thought I was comfortable, and I lost 115 grand in a grandfather clock earlier this year, so that's just part of it. But you learn from these experiences and you move on, and I'm just thankful to be here. I love this racetrack, and the Xfinity car puts on a great race. And I feel like the Cup car will tomorrow, so I'm excited for this whole weekend. And Martinsville weekend's always a place in my heart, and I feel like I always remember coming here as a young kid and watching all these races. So I really love this track.
All right, thank you, Ty. Good luck this weekend. And guys, he mentioned the one car. They were pitted right next to each other here on pit road by coincidence or not, but funny nonetheless.
That'd be Sam Mayer. And they came to blows in the spring race here. Josh Williams on track now. Dawson Cram and Ronnie Bassett Jr. have already taken qualifying laps.
I'm going to have to admit it. That was one of the best, I know it sounds silly, but one of the best Ty Gibbs interviews I have seen. He seems sometimes so robotic. We don't get a lot of personality. And DJ, for the first time, it was kind of an off-the-cuff answer and a smile, and totally like appropriate for a kid of his age to be like, man, I remember I lost this big chunk of money and a lot of lessons in the spring. It's just great to see his personality coming through, because we know it's in there. It's just sometimes a little hidden.
Josh Williams, never short on personality himself in his car. Almost a little short on grip there, DJ.
That thing's been loose on the exit of the corner every time we showed him in practice, and there again in qualifying. I'd be wanting some wedge or a little softer right rear spring there, Stevie.
So I'm going to say this about Stephen Parsons' car. I would say less of the personality Halloween-wise with the skulls, etc. on this car are about Stephen Parsons as they are about his owner, BJ McLeod. So up close, that car is super cool.
And I'm just waiting for poor Stefan to get the finish that he's deserved. He has had so many good runs lately that have kind of been taken away from him. Last week it was the Sieg brothers wrecking on the front stretch at Miami that cost Stefan. At the Roval, running inside the top 10, got spun late. He's just doing a really, really, really nice job. I'm ready to see some of those finishes all the way to the checkered flag.
This is Chad Fincham, Knoxville driver, second race of the year. If he makes it in, he tried to qualify for a couple of others that he didn't make, but raced also at Dover this year. Dylan?
Well, we were just talking about Sam Mayer with Ty Gibbs, so here is Sam. He was 14th in practice. Another guy who maybe has a win or nothing else mentality this weekend. So what would you do to go for a win here and get a Martinsville clock?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm racing for my organization, my team, so it's my job to get in victory lane and do whatever I can to get there. Obviously, I don't want to do it in the dumbest way possible, but I guess at the end of the day, we're racing for a championship, and we want to have the most amount of cars there in Phoenix, so I'll do what I can and may do what I need to.
You've been really strong here in both races. You've run here top fives in both races. What's clicked about this racetrack with you and these Xfinity cars?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a short track guy. I've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years in the ARCA stuff and in the truck stuff because I just haven't been old enough to do anything else. So coming back to the places where I know best and I know I can run well, and I've proved that in the past a little bit, it just suits my style and what I've been used to over the last couple of years. So, I mean, our organization as a whole is really fast here. We have a lot of success here. We have a couple Grand Plaza clocks back at the shop, so I'm looking forward to adding one hopefully this weekend.
All right, Sam Mayer, we're going to get set to qualify here in a little bit, and as you guys can hear, confidence, and that goes a long way, especially here at Martinsville.
Turned 19 in June. Before he turned 18, of course, as he mentioned, he couldn't race any number of tracks, but now he's with a great organization in Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, and he's been proving too. I mean, this entire year, you just saw the improvement in his driving, decision making. I think is much better, and that's just as he matures and understands this type of racing a little bit more. But the talent is there for him to win races, and he is my pick to win tomorrow.
Well, there you go. Mark it down. First time for Dale Jarrett to voice that opinion, and I don't disagree with it. To me, what would be amazing, what will Dale Jr. do if he gets all 4 of them in the championship 4? I mean, that'd be huge.
If he has 3 of them, well,
if you got all 4 in, the great news is you're going to win a championship. The bad news is you're going to have to console 3 of your teams that didn't win the championship.
Yeah, that's what Robert Yates used to always tell us when I went there and to drive the 28 car in '95, and Ford was wanting him to start a second team, and he was like, as soon as they make victory lane big enough for 2 cars, he said, because if I've got 2 cars and one of them wins, the other one's going to be mad for some reason. So
good luck.
Thankfully, he went against that in '96. We started a second team.
There you go. And they didn't move victory lane any larger, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, okay.
No.
J.J. Yaley with a nice lap there previously in the 66. This is Howie DiSavino driving for Alpha Prime Racing. His final start of the year in the 45.
Good little lap going right here. We'll see if he can carry this green through the last set of corners.
Yeah, that car really rotated well and didn't seem to be too loose on the exit. Well, he hung it out there, but
going for
quite a bit of speed.
Top of the board for Howie.
I will say, though, why that's kind of visually for the 45, that's way up by the wall. You don't want to be loose up there, but I think that costs you sometimes less time than when you spin earlier in the corner. You have to bail out of it.
Yeah.
By the time you're up there, it looks awful, but you're kind of sawing just on the wheel at that point versus, like, right here, kind of just trying to jump up out of a hole.
See how long Howie's lap holds there. Meanwhile, Matt Mills trying to take care of that. Got a little curve there, didn't he, Steve?
Yeah, so it's all timing, right? So he's going to drive it as deep as he thinks he can get in and then try to commit to this turn. And he wants that thing to rotate right around the bottom and drive right to the curb. But if it turns a little too good, you don't ever really want to turn the wheel back to the right. So sometimes it just drives the left front right up on the curb.
Matt Mills to the checkers here, and he will be third quick so far. 10th car to take time on track now. There are 40 who will attempt to qualify for the race. Only 38 will start, so there will be 2 disappointed drivers and teams this weekend. Rajah Caruth hopes not to be one of those.
VSU on the hood of this car, Virginia State. iRacing, big iRacing supporter. They've been a big supporter of Rajah's. See him on the back bumper. It's going to be exciting. I got to spend some time with him this week. Just a great young guy to be around. Always smiling, happy.
I got to go to Hollywood this week. Got up for the premiere of Wakanda Forever. Posted that to the world, and thankfully flew back this direction for a little qualifying today. He's in the green.
Yeah, really good lap going right here. If he can exit turn 4, oh, got a little bit of the curve. You can see that's hurting him.
That still appears to be good enough to the top. Both Alpha Prime Racing cars at the top. Taking his qualifying laps in the 08. He is 11th out of 40 who will attempt to make the race for tomorrow. Meanwhile, the playoff drivers are trying to get to Phoenix in a position to win the championship. One driver has already placed himself there. That's Noah Gragson. But Dylan, we're understanding there's some breaking news with the 9 car.
Yes, breaking, no pun or pun intended, depending on how you look at it. So this is the brake line off of the right front of the 9 car. That little pinch right there is obviously a cause for concern. So behind us here, they are in the process of basically completing a brake line reinstallation process. So they've had all the fluid out of the brakes and everything down here, which is down here on pit road. And it's a little bit of a thrash down here just to make sure they got brake pressure and the lines aren't clogged, and they got to bleed the lines to get all the air out of them and everything else. So that was the issue. Thankfully, it didn't cause any damage or anything on the racetrack. But nonetheless, you got to have brakes and working brakes here at Martinsville. So that's what they're working on here on the 9 car.
So, Dave, how does something like that happen to a car like the 9 of Junior Motorsports? Well, that braided line that Dylan had it's called a whip line. The entire car is plumbed with like a hard steel brake line, and then when it gets to the end of that hard steel brake line, you have to have it connected over to the caliper. The suspension moves up and down. Well, that pinch right there looks like one of 2 very clear things. The easiest is when you jack these cars up, the upper control arms droop down, and they usually go either against the stop or against the chassis, and that looks like it was kind of sandwiched between the 2. That's the shape of that pinch on the brake line. The other way is if you turn right and left, you also can have some contact with some steering stops. So either while the car was being jacked up or while the car was being steered through the garage area, that brake line got pinched either between the upper control arm or perhaps the spindle and something else. That is like your #1 fear. You tie them up all certain ways, try to make sure you don't have that issue, but thankfully they found the issue now.
That's what I was going to ask. A better tie up or a shorter line?
Well, it's probably, they all run them as short as they can. They have to be operational so you can kind of get the tires off, and with certain parts of the suspension unhooked to actually work on the race car. But they've ran this brake package, I'm sure, multiple times, so I'm sure it's just a better job of tying it up and paying attention to exactly its routing.
Alex LeBay with a nice lap to 3rd in the 36 car. This is Ryan Vargas in the 6 for Johnny Davis Motorsports. You see Williamsburg construction on that car. Great story Ryan told me earlier today. They were just a secondary sponsor on that car, and after Richmond had a quick conversation in the parking lot, boom, full sponsorship. Nice to see.
Yeah, love that.
C.J. McLaughlin takes his Mustang onto the track. Let's head down to Dylan.
And we found Austin Hill, another one of our playoff drivers who's set to go here at Martinsville. So what's the key to getting a car qualified around this racetrack?
If you figure it out, let me know. I've never really qualified the greatest here. I think for the most part, I've been somewhere around the 10th to 15th range on most of my qualifying efforts around this place. It's such a tough racetrack to, have a qualifying run at. You got to attack your entry, try to get off the brake pedal as early as you can, carry roll speed, and then as soon as you even think it's starting to turn, you got to hammer down and hope it sticks. So I feel like we have a decent Global Industrials Chevrolet. Thought we had good speed during our first run. We came in, made an adjustment, and then we kind of fell off there for some reason. So not sure it was if it was just coming in and sitting for a second, going back out, or what it was. But everybody at RCR is working really hard, and we'll see what we do in qualifying. This is one of those tracks that I really hold my breath on because I don't know. It's hard to run a fast lap here, so we're going to give it all we can and see what we can do.
Good luck. Thank you.
Well, before Austin came up here, he should have watched somebody else's interview besides me back in the 90s and early 2000s, and he could have given a better answer there, because I felt like that I'd heard that somewhere. Exactly, and I think that came out of my mind. He is exactly right. It's such a difficult place. I never qualified well here either. But to give Austin some hope, I actually did figure out a way to win a race here one time. So it can be done. And he has some great news, too. He's going to run 6 Cup races next year for Beard Motorsports. So exciting time for him to get that, and that starts at the Daytona 500.
That is big news. Qualifying here, did you hold your breath?
Yeah, I tried everything, and nothing seemed to work. But, yeah, I did hold my breath, I'm pretty sure.
This is Patrick Emmerling, co-owner of this 35 car, along with Joey Gase. Neat story on this car. That paint scheme, the artist is actually from Iowa, so it's a nice local connection for Gase, who hails from there. A lot of Halloween-themed wraps on these cars this weekend. It's a lot of fun. Patrick will woe it down. This was the first car on track in qualifying. Skipped right out there to get some early laps. This is Ryan Sieg.
Yeah, Ryan, really good short track racer, and put down some good laps when he first went out onto the track.
It's been quite the season for Sieg as well. 13 top 10.
Yeah.
It's the most ever in his career in the season. So just trying to continue to build kind of piece by piece.
Some stability there. CMR Construction and Roofing, they are on board already for next year, so they continue to grow that program. They're going to like what they see there, top of the board.
Actually saw he and his dad and family members and stuff out in Las Vegas during the racing out there in one of the hotels there, and they were having a good fun time and talking about their season, and what a great job they did, and just how close he came to make it into that round of 8.
Speaking of Vegas and a great season, let's head down to Dylan Welch.
And we're with Josh Berry, who is one of 2 guys here this weekend that can breathe a little bit easier after his Vegas win. He's racing for a championship next weekend. So qualifying this weekend, all 4 championship 4 guys are going to get to pick pit stalls first next week. But if you qualify on the pole, you get first pick. So is there added importance for you guys today in this qualifying session to go for the pole and get that first pit stall selection?
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely would be a good thing going into next week if you're able to pull that off. But at the end of the day, we're all going to have the first 4 picks. I think we'll all get a decent stall there. So, that practice really didn't go that well for us. We were really tight. Made a lot of adjustments here to try to fix it. Sun's coming out, so maybe it'll come to us.
All right, that's Josh Berry, and he's right. The conditions down here, it's not warm by any means, but the sun has poked its head out, and it's definitely a little bit warmer than it was at the start of practice, so it may play a little bit of a difference as well.
Very interesting it becomes. Meanwhile, New Hampshire driver Derek Griffith has put the 26 car to the top. Let's see what Myatt Snyder can do.
So would this be one of the only places you'd want to see for qualifying the sun come out?
Yes.
Everywhere else you're waiting for the cloud, right?
Yes, that is a great point.
Snyder takes advantage of it right there.
Yeah. Lap.
It's a little bit interesting, too. The top 3, their fast lap have all been lap 1. That's an interesting trend.
Yeah.
It looks like Snyder might break that trend. You should improve on the second lap, you would think. Oh, he's not going to with that big slide right there, though.
He had thoughts of it, though, didn't he?
Yeah, that thing had a chance of being a 10th or 10th and a half better, but you just saw the back just come around.
So would that be something like really putting the tire pressure to the max on that first one and hope that it's not too far?
So, yeah, it's one of 2 things. Either you've put the tire pressures exactly where you want it for lap 1, or a mistake like what we just saw right there with Maya. Maybe all these cars had more potential, and we talk about how difficult it is. You had a good one in, and now you go, okay, now I'm going to go improve. I kind of got the first one in, and no harm on Maya. I mean, the only way to improve is to try to push the car faster somewhere, and he obviously reached the rear grip limit there on the exit of 4.
Yeah, he had a good exit off of 2, so he may have been carrying more speed into 3 than what he did the previous lap.
So Joe Graff Jr. and his Zombies make their lap. Let's see if he can improve on the second lap. Looks like he's going to.
Well, there you go. 16th to first. Now that's what I would expect to see first and second lap.
Nice run for Joe Graff here in Martinsville. To take time. There's 40 in all, and all of the playoff drivers will run at the end of this session. So drama continuing to build for them.
Yeah, I always love to see a partner on this 68 car. This is a team that lost some partners early in the year, and that's why we don't see Brandon Brown behind the wheel as much as he would like to drive his own car. And you know, this week it has First National Bank on the hood and on the quarter panels.
Hang on, Chris.
Yeah, that was, you talk about loose in, you could see it turn to the right on corner entry, and the speed shows it.
Chris, and that's the worst possible place for that to happen.
Yes.
Finishing lap 1, so you know.
Lap 1 sets up lap 2, right?
Yeah.
And so he's not going to be happy with that. But tomorrow's a long race. And that will take place right here tomorrow afternoon on NBC and Peacock.
I had to take a double take at this 48 car. Different color scheme had me all messed up for a little bit. I was trying to think it had another kind of another sponsor, and we've basically gone from one spiked drink to another. We've gone over to the bourbon. I guess in the fall you move over to bourbon. Yeah, it's bourbon
my
time.
point was, you know, if it's not a Halloween themed car, what is? Because you know what's in the parents' Yeti when they're walking around the neighborhood, right?
So this is Scott Borchetta, the owner of this team. This is Borchetta Bourbon. Never had it. Not a bourbon guy myself, but I have a lot of friends who are. I'm gonna have to get their opinion on this because a good-looking car.
Really nice looking. And Dave sounded like he was speaking from experience.
I wasn't going to call him out on air as the bourbon guy, but yeah.
I may have been.
The quote, friend bourbon guy was Dave. I just wasn't going to say it on air, but.
Nick Sanchez does not sound pleased with his lap there.
No.
And that will put him in the 9th position. Meanwhile, Jeremy Clements, another driver with a little Halloween theme going on. His was, I got to get a closer look at it. There were so many down there, and I didn't write them all down. But I accused each and every driver of having his likeness used on the side of the car. I believe he's got in the wall. Yeah, the Goodyear scraped off those right sides. Nonetheless, a good lap.
Trying to get a little more here on the second one. Really good exit time.
That's going to put him to the top, but that marking on the wall just past start finish, that is all from the 51 car of Jeremy Clements. Jeb Burton on track now for Our Motorsports, posting earlier today that he will not be back next year in this race car, looking for his next opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know if I was surprised or not to hear that. You know, I thought this was going to be a good fit at the beginning of the year, but it just hadn't really completely lined up. I've spent some time with Jeb over the course of the second half of the season in the garage. He just talks about how tough it is without having that affiliation to kind of a Sunday organization, and Our Motorsports kind of lacks that. So I don't know if that is part of the decision here, if it's a business decision, but we hope Jeb lands somewhere. State water heater on this, longtime partner of Jeb,
Yep.
So.
And that will be second for Jeb Burton. Jeff's nephew, Ward's son. We'll see what he can do tomorrow afternoon here on the half mile.
So this is like a throwback old paint scheme with a new partner, right? So Aleve is on the side, but it's like I swear I've seen this paint scheme for the last 10 or 15 years in different locations. Good looking car.
And they've had Alka-Seltzer on there this year. Same group of companies, I guess, that Aleve is associated with. So hopefully Curry will not be having the headaches involved with a Martinsville race that can happen here, DJ.
Oh, it certainly can, yes. For most.
Now you're speaking from experience.
Definitely experience, yes.
Bailey Curry, 9th quick there in the 4 car.
Mentioned trick-or-treating. This is what happens when you get a knock on the door right here. See? Justin Allgaier pops up. It's like when you look out your little peephole to see who's trick-or-treating.
Nobody's there.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier shows up. This is a new camera. It's a great location. This is kind of the entrance of turn 1 right on the pit wall, right? So this is that shot from that same camera.
A RoboCam.
Yeah, a robotic camera run by the very talented cameramen that sit in the trailers in the TV compound. But I think that's going to give us some great views on these starts coming in here too wide, pushing each other. It's going to be great.
That camera will be run by T-Bone, been a part of our family for a long time. Anthony Marshall at the wheel of that. I'll have some quick panning to do there. Ooh, Alfredo loose out of 4. But top of the board.
And loose is fast, apparently.
Dead on tools there. Big supporter on the car, and they also have a big banner on the backstretch. So you love when a partner comes out and kind of gets the whole experience, right?
Yep.
Help partner with the racetrack, hopefully have some activation here at the track. They're on a race car in the race.
Yep, that's another Our Motorsports car. This is another Richard Childress Racing car. This is Sheldon Creed.
I think this lap right here is getting ready to.
Yikes.
It's an idea of what's going to have to.
Yeah.
What we can expect. There you go. Now we're down to the 19.86. And looking like he has a chance to improve. 100th can easily be made up. I love that he's given a little time back on entry. Sometimes it's where you don't overdrive the entry. Oh, so close.
1986 on the first lap, and 1995 on the second. So there's the new standard. Sheldon Creed with it. Next Chevrolet out. This will be Landon Castle. Congratulations to his crew chief, Alex Yance, and Alex's wife, Megan, on the birth of their second and third boy.
Oh, my goodness.
At the same time. Yep.
Oh.
Last week. So they now have 3. I told them they've almost got a basketball team.
Now that's a big transition. 1 to 3 is a big transition.
Well, I said, so are y'all going to go for having the girl? And he said, well, maybe not, because if we have twins again, that's 5, and that's too many.
Yeah.
Alex is back at the track this week. Good to see him, and congratulations to him and Megan. Let's see what Landon can do with lap 2. I know he's not going to be happy with that. That's not where he wants to be starting at Martinsville.
No, I agree. I think he's going to be disappointed because it's 3.5 tenths off the pole, and you imagine these cars are going to continue to fill in that gap.
Ooh, Riley Herbst just driving it in.
Yeah, definitely missed that corner by 4 or 5 feet. We talk about trying to wrap it right around that curbing.
Now it's all about kind of gaining your composure and really putting together a second lap, because now you don't have a great first lap to fall back on.
See about this entrance here. Man, still a little sketchy. But in the green, what did you say before? Loose is fast, DJ?
Yeah, and you could see that he was much closer to the curbing there, just a 1.5 feet or so off of it, but no, gave it up right there. Tried to get a little too much getting into turn 3.
The whole back right rear of this car just looks really soft, like it's not propped up with a lot of spring, kind of making the car do what he wants. Kind of lazy and laid over.
Currently third for Riley Herbst. Matches his car number. This is Sammy Smith from Iowa, and he's been impressive this year for Joe Gibbs Racing in just a handful of starts, including a podium finish of 3rd at Watkins Glen.
This is the toughest car for me in the entire field to handicap, just because we know he's a super talented race car driver, just not a lot of starts or experience in this series. Every time he comes in, he's doing stuff that's perhaps more than I expect out of an 18-year-old driver, so I just don't know even how to kind of predict it.
Man, he was able to carry a lot of speed through the center of both corners. Hurt him a little bit on the exit, but nice lap there. Second quick right now.
ARCA East champion, so he's got the chops to get it done and getting his feet wet this year in the Xfinity Series. Here's his teammate, Brandon Jones, and he is in the playoffs. Brandon, the winner here earlier this year. A lot on the line for him this weekend.
Well, he needs to make it a Martinsville sweep if he's going to race for a championship next week. But he knows that, and they're fully aware of what. And sometimes whenever you can throw everything else out and know exactly what you have to do. Not that they're not trying to win every week, but sometimes, you don't have the car, so you try to get the points. Now they just know that they have to win.
Well, we saw Christopher Bell, his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate who runs on Sunday. He got that walk-off win at the Roval, so...
and needs another one Sunday.
Yeah. I wasn't going to
by the way.
He's down, but I do agree. Yep, needs another. There you go. Top of the board.
That's a good way to start things.
Nice lap for Brandon Jones. Josh Berry on track. A little lock up here for Jones.
Oh, well, it was way down in there.
These teams will start the race on these tires, Steve, unless they are damaged. Would that be the way to say it?
Yeah, unless it's flat spotted, although we've seen these tires be a little more resilient than you could imagine. I'm sure they'll roll it with the hood open and take a look at it. As Josh, he said he was tight earlier. That
They fixed that.
Yep, that one looked like it has turned fine.
Sleeping well, he's comfortable, already in the championship 4, on his way to Phoenix with a chance at the championship. This lap will be not good for the top spot. Put him 9th.
A little surprising. I expected more. Maybe, I know the practice didn't go well, but just before we even showed up here, I thought the 8 was going to be right up there near the front.
Justin Allgaier, so much experience for this driver. Confidence coming into each and every week, but he's got a little work to do as well. Not comfortable in his point situation. He needs points, or he needs a win tomorrow afternoon.
He just needs a car. It looks reasonably stuck. It just looks like he can't really hustle it, which tells me it's probably just a little too tight, a little too snug with the front. We'll have to slow the car down more than he wants to get it to change direction, DJ.
Yeah, as much time as you can see he's making through the center of the corner, you have to think this tight because he's really letting it roll, so he's carrying a lot of speed there, but then that's killing his exit speed.
That was an improvement, up to 4th.
Yeah. Something to work with.
And that's the driver, I mean, DJ, knowing what he felt, knowing what he's got, knowing what he's got to do on lap 2 with it. As his teammate, Sam Mayer, the 19-year-old, comes onto the track. That wiggle back and forth, Steve, what's he doing?
Yeah, just heating up the tire. Right? We talk about it. It's a cool afternoon here. This concrete doesn't hold a lot of temperature. You see he's still trying to work these tires, trying to get the grip in the tire.
Seems like he's fully committed that lap 2 is going to be his fastest lap.
Oh, you wouldn't do that to try to get a pole? On the first lap.
Yeah.
Here it is. Oh, he's not on the curb, though.
No, just totally missed turn 1, to be honest. That's a groove and a half up, and he's sitting 19th, and I'm not sure there's any way this lap's going to be an improvement. So outside the top 15 for Sam Mayer, perhaps outside the top 20 with a couple miles to go.
Interesting. So that's 19th for Sam Mayer. Making it tough. A.J. Allmendinger would like to make it tough on everyone tomorrow afternoon. The veteran already announced he's going to the Cup Series full-time next year for this group. Colleague Racing would love to have a trophy in the trophy case before that.
I couldn't tell if that was lock-up, like a wheel hop, or if he had touched the curb. When we first jumped on board with him, I saw some vibration in the steering. Looks all normal now. Pace is a little off, perhaps what he would like.
First lap was good for 9th. Allmendinger, can he improve? Yes, up to 7th.
And figure out where AJ's looking everywhere. Did you see?
Speed 7 right there.
Head was moving a lot in there, Dave.
His other teammates found trouble in practice. Daniel Hemrick found trouble. Landon Castle did not have his best lap in qualifying. He's 14th. So we'll see what the brain trust can put together overnight at Colleague Racing.
You know, this looks a little bit more normal.
Yeah, this is.
Although I'm not sure he's blinked yet.
Guess that's the other thing we could ask Dale Jarrett, who has won here before in qualifying. Did you blink or breathe?
Yeah, probably not. No. The only thing I didn't try was with my eyes closed, and I might should have done that. Just taking somebody's advice as to when to let off. And
Ty Gibbs is 4th. Dylan.
Guys, Austin Hill is in the garage. They're not going to make a qualifying attempt.
No.
They blew a tube out of the radiator, pushing the car on pit road. So it lost a ton of water, and they didn't even fire it up, obviously. So he's going to have a lot of work to do tomorrow now.
Wow, Dylan, thank you for the update. Disappointing for Austin Hill. Steve, how would you do that?
Well, the only other thing I can think of is that they were cooling the car down after practice, and maybe the heat change from the hot car to the cold water damaged the radiator. This sounds crazy because we don't talk a lot about trying to save money, but this is a place you actually run some of your high mileage radiators because most don't return without a hole or somebody's front bumper stuffed through them. So it's maybe a radiator, you run when they're brand new and efficient at the big tracks where you can run more tape. At the short tracks, you kind of use up your higher mileage equipment, so you just wonder if it just literally failed after practice. And with that,
how about that?
The must-win guy is sitting in the great spot to get this started.
Noah Gragson was the last one that could have taken down Brandon Jones. That did not happen. Jones will be on the pole, Dylan.
And for the 5th time this year, and he'll go for the Martinsville sweep this weekend with a lot on the line, a lot more than he had on the line in the spring. So how well does this start you guys off for tomorrow?
Yeah, man, this is big. We showed up here to do one thing today. We talked about it before practice, but it's just to win the race, So I think everyone's mentality has been amazing all year long, but I think especially this weekend, you can just tell this team and this group is amped up to try to get in this next round. So it's not over yet. We got a long day ahead of us tomorrow, but this is definitely a big help for us for sure. Going into Phoenix, let's say we make it tomorrow, going into Phoenix, this is a phenomenal way to go into Phoenix with a good pit selection and different things there. So there's always so much momentum to be built off of poles like this and to have good weekends to start off. I said it earlier, but big thanks to everyone at Tuscany and Menards. They did a lot for us this year and hoping to close it out for them strong.
There is a lot that can happen in these races, as you alluded to, but the start of the race tomorrow, just accomplishing your guys' game plan to set yourself up for the end of the race, what does this pole position do, or how does it aid in that?
Yeah, I think what it allows us to do is pretty much go out here and pace this race from the get-go. I'm not really following somebody else's race or not falling into the trap of them overdriving and things. I can go out and just kind of run my line and run my pace that I want to do it. And so I think that's going to be a big key with the win itself. And we know how kind of difficult this track can be. I know that some guys can use the bumper to pass and do different things, but if you're going to do it clean, it is difficult to pass. So I think just giving yourself that much more of a cushion and buffer is a big key here.
Well done.
Thank you.
Brandon Jones, job 1 is done this weekend. Going to go for the race win now tomorrow.
250 laps tomorrow, Dylan, and he'll have the best view as we get going here. Sheldon Creed to his outside, non-playoff driver on row 1.
Yeah, really, the playoff drivers kind of spread through the field. You see Ty Gibbs in row 2. Noah Gragson, a playoff driver who's advanced, will start alongside his teammate Justin Allgaier, who's still looking to advance.
Riley Herbst was 8th, even with that squirrely lap that he put down, so that was impressive.
Yeah, AJ right there. He's looking to try to finish inside the top 10 in that first stage for sure.
Next page here, let's look for any more playoff drivers. Yeah, there's Sam Mayer on the outside of row 11.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, it's going to hurt, because he's going to definitely be out of that first stage and just going to have to be really patient, not tearing up equipment. So easy to get caught up in something early.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
38 starters tomorrow afternoon, and you've just watched them all qualify. This goes down to 32 here.
You see Stephen Parsons right there. As I mentioned, a couple great runs that just haven't quite got finished off the way it hopes. Looking for a good finish here.
And final 3 rows here. And there you see the final playoff driver, Austin Hill, not able to make a qualifying lap, mechanical issues.
Yeah, mechanical on the 21 car. The 11 of Daniel Hemrick was an accident in practice. The 34 of Kyle Weatherman also had some sort of mechanical issue, didn't get to make a lap. So there's going to be some speed at the back of the field when we see the green flag. And no matter how fast you are, that leader is coming quick. There's just nowhere to go with all this traffic.
Just 1/2 mile here, Dylan, and Noah Gragson almost had a shot at the pole there.
He did. He winds up 5th for tomorrow's race. So evaluate your lap for me. How'd you feel about it?
Oh, all right. We had a little bit of brake line issues there in practice. Replaced that. And it's always hard to qualify here, I feel like. Sometimes, like last time in the spring, the thing turned really good, and then other times you come here and you can't get it to turn for the first 5 or 6 laps, which is a long, long time. But I felt like it's all right. Yeah, a little bit left front lockup. We were a little nervous about that coming to this race, and with qualifying being so important today, it sets you for your pit box selection next week. So we really want to have a good showing, but 5th is all right. I guess it's second best of who we think is going to be the playoff guys. So we'll take it. We're really excited and really want to run good here tomorrow. I love this place. It's so much fun. So definitely important to qualify good, and we'll take 5th.
Was the brake line problem something that you felt in qualifying, or that the team just noticed in between practice and qualifying?
Yeah, when I pulled into the pits after practice, my pedal started going to the floor. I'm like, hey, something's wrong. And then
we replaced that, re-bled the brakes, and then one of our crew guys, Dex, he's like, hey, drive this thing. Don't let it mess with your head. Like, and I'm swapping the brake lines and all that. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm driving this thing till, like, I'm either making the corner or I'm pounding the fence. Like, I'm not laying back, you know, on entry. So I'm trying to get all we can, and just definitely thankful for all these Bass Pro Shop guys. It's kind of emotional last 2 races. I was thinking about that when I got out. And Xfinity, just very thankful for everybody at Junior Motorsports and Hendrick Engine Shop, Bass Pro Shops, True Timber, Black Rival Coffee. It's been such a surreal last couple of years, and just very grateful.
Thanks, Noah.
Thanks.
Interesting thoughts from Noah Gragson. The playoff leaderboard, of which he is a part, looks like this. You can see he's in great position as far as going to Phoenix. Yeah, just a little bit of work to do at tomorrow's race.
Well, I think tomorrow, now at this point, nothing tomorrow can help him or hurt him at Phoenix other than just some momentum. Go out, have fun, enjoy it. He just mentioned how he loves the racetrack. Another great interview. Reminds me of the Ty interview. These drivers at the end of the year, I don't know, that the truth serum is coming out. They're all just kind of relaxed. You can see almost a little emotion with Noah. He understands his time at Junior Motorsports is coming to an end in only a couple weeks.
Yeah, and things get a lot more serious. Not that he doesn't take this serious and has had a great year, Noah, but, you know, he's going to move up into the major leagues of it. And so well-deserved, because he has earned that to be that part.
There is Austin Hills, 21, did not make a lap. Can he advance to the championship 4 from the rear of the field tomorrow afternoon? You will find out with us. 2:30 countdown to green on NBC, and then the Xfinity Series playoffs from right here at Martinsville Speedway. 3:30 in the afternoon. That'll be simulcast on NBC and Peacock. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Veterans, young drivers, everyone trying to get to that championship 4 with a lot of chaos possible at the Martinsville Speedway. Oh, Buffalo Bills fan as well. And it's Halloween weekend. Yeah, a little bit of celebration there as well. A lot of paint schemes to celebrate here in the Xfinity car field. So glad you could join us here this afternoon. For Dale Jarrett and Steve Letarte, I'm Dave Burns. We'll see you next time. Back to the Future's up next.